All right, another week, another episode of Above the Rim brought to you by Afterthought Sports and WSBU 88.3 FM The Buzz. I'm Austin Townley, joined by James Derrick, and today we have episode 27 of Above the Rim, the best basketball podcast out there. How you doing, James?
I'm just barely scraping along. I can't stop being sick, to be honest, but I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
live. So, you know what? That's really all that matters. I'm just glad for my life at this point.
yeah, you're here virtually, here in
Yeah,
spirit. Today we got the pink lemmy today with me. Man, that's a top tier flavor. I don't know
it
if you're
is.
I don't know all of you guys out there. I don't know if you drink Celsius, whatever. Pink lemmy the way to go. It's not carbonated. It's pink lemonade. It's fire. So today James and I were like, let's do an episode. Let's bang one out, get some content out for the boys and the girls out there that love basketball. Because I love basketball. I've been loving watching basketball as of late. I've been watching a lot of games, a lot of different, variety of teams here and there. My focus would fix.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either. There we go. But yeah,
Just better.
let's get right into it, James. Um, you want to talk about the Clippers to start it off? They've been really hot. The Clippers are kind of a hot commodity of the NBA right now. Kawhi's been balling, so
Yeah, they're one of the only teams, when you look at the standings who have actually done a really, really good job in their last 10 games. They're 8-2 in their last 10. The only other team in the NBA that is like that is the Oklahoma City Thunder, where, I mean, pretty much no matter when you check in on the Thunder, they're 8-2 in their last 10, at least, at minimum. So,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
true.
that's like, sure, whatever. But the Clippers on a 4-game win streak, I mean, man, it's been about this dude, Kawhi Leonard. He's been a man who appears to be balling, right? You never know. You're like, oh, what Kawhi is going to happen this week or their next week. You have the good Kawhi for the last 10 games at least. He's averaging 32 and a half, 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists, almost 3 steals a game. That's insane in his last 10.
Dang. Kawhi found his old Superman cape. He threw it back on. He was like, "No, we are not gonna miss the playoffs. We are not gonna miss the play-in." Kawhi Leonard is back, and he's actually pretty good at basketball. If you didn't know, I mean, come on. It's been like this topic years going on. Kawhi Leonard, when he's healthy, when he's playing, he is a top 10 basketball player, man. But availability is the best ability. And so far in his tenure with the Clippers, availability hasn't really been the case for Kawhi Leonard as he's been sitting back to
Yeah.
backs, injuries, back to back injuries. Him and Paul George both. They sent Paul George out of there. And they're stuck with Kawhi and James Harden. And what they had a really, really crappy start to the season is now kind of flourishing into a little play-in run. We were all really worried about, Kawhi Leonard and James Harden not being able to propel this Clippers team to past trash. To be honest with you, like they were
Yeah.
garbage to start the year,
Yeah.
and the whole NBA world was like, "Bruh, the Thunder own their pick," and then that would just give the Thunder a lottery pick if they end up in the lottery, and nobody wants to see that. I mean, why would you
No.
want to see the Thunder get a lottery pick in this year's draft?
No, I mean, and they find themselves just half a game back of the play-in at the moment. Behind the Grizzlies, who, I mean, they're shopping around John Morant. That's a team that's trending
Yeah,
downwards for me for the rest of the season. Unless trading John Morant makes them better, you never know how those things kind of go. But seeing the value that Trae Young got, I'm not sure how much they're going to get in return for Ja. So that's a team I see going downwards. The Clippers is a team, you can see playing better than they have been considering the superstar talent that they have on the roster. And I mean, they're 6 games below 500, and in an 82 game season, we've got a lot left to play here. Like I think, well, let me see with my math here, 42 games left. Um, that's a
good
lot of
math.
room. That's a lot of room to improve, get to 500 or better. And you're not going to be, you know, a high lottery pick if you're sitting at a record like that. So breathe, everybody,
Yeah, yeah.
relax. The Thunder should not be getting a top 10 pick in this upcoming draft. Hopefully not. But
Hopefully
time will
not,
tell
man.
still.
Dude, I don't know what's going on. Did you see that? My lights are like flickering in the background here.
Yeah, you
Turning
got a
on and off.
Demogorgon coming towards you or
I got the
something. I don't
Demogorgon coming toward. Dude, this
know.
camera is driving me crazy today. Holy cow. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that are kind of in the middle of a weird place right now. I mean, that's the beauty of the NBA, right? It's an 82 game season. It's not like the NFL where it's, 12, 13 games. You lose one, you're like that really affects your schedule. That's not the case for the NBA. And it's a lot different from the MLB when they're playing 182. It's
Yeah,
it's very different all the leagues. And I think the NBA has a really good happy medium. Um like the Clippers, they can rise and they can take advantage of the time that they have left. But there's also other teams that are kind of in the middle, like the Washington Wizards, who just traded for Trae Young. It's a super cool trade, I think, now looking back on it. But now they're saying he's not going to play much, if at all, for the rest of the season, which is interesting,
mm,
you know?
I
I
think
think they're trying to
kind
get
of
a
best
lottery
case
pick.
scenario for them right now.
Yeah. I think the best case scenario would be for Trae Young to sit the entire season because you know what? Use that pick that you have because it still has value. You guys aren't good. Go into the lot into the draft, hope to get a high pick and make a good selection. Another team that's kind of like every which way doesn't really have an identity right now. The Dallas Mavericks. Okay, they traded Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis last year. They landed the number one overall pick, the best draft in years. Cooper Flag is a Maverick, and he's been playing incredible. So props to Cooper Flag. He's been the one like shining moment in Dallas this season. But then there's Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, who are these
Yeah.
superstars, and they're aging. Anthony Davis cannot seem to stay healthy. Kyrie is out with a torn ACL. They're saying he's going to be cleared to play after the All-Star break, but I don't know, if he will play. What do you think about this, James? Should the Mavericks look towards moving Anthony Davis and Kyrie at this point?
Uh, yeah, that it's hard. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, getting some kind of value back for them, some younger guys, maybe it's picks, Um, but it's not the conventional rebuild that you see, right? That you get your generational talent while you still have a good team, but then the team falls off, and then you're selling guys while you're trying to, propel a guy like Flag into, a leading role in that team. It just hasn't gone their way. I mean, again, with injuries as well. I mean, that hand injury with Anthony Davis, that's like just how, what, how, what,
The
like you
play is
watch that
weird.
happen, and it's just like that's the strangest thing I've ever seen. Like, is that just unlucky? I mean, that's something that happens probably a lot, but no one, ends up tearing their
Right,
ligaments in their hand.
right.
Um, Unfortunately for Anthony Davis, that's just how it crumbles for him. They're in a really weird spot. I think as a GM, I would hate to be the GM of the Dallas Mavericks right now because you're trying to get you're trying to shift your focus into the future. You're probably trying to trade Anthony Davis, even Kyrie as well, but you're also trying to get value for them at a time where we just saw Trae Young go for not too
Bag of
much.
chips, basically a bag
Yeah,
of chips. I mean, the thing with the Mavericks is it's so weird because you have a front office change too. It's a brand new GM. Like they just
exactly.
got done with Nico Harris, and this brand new GM comes into a situation where it's like, yeah, you can see the flower and rose petals in the future, but right now it's like you're in the Sahara Desert right now. You are stuck with the one sliver of hope is like your last water bottle you have in the desert. That's Cooper Flag, right? You got that. But then you have these two other guys that are slowing you down, that you traveled with, and Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. If
Hmm.
I'm the Mavericks, I'm 100% trying to trade Anthony Davis at least, at the minimum. Okay. His value is
Yeah.
going to be low. But honestly, it's going to be the highest it's going to be for the rest of his career right now, I think. I think right now is the highest Anthony Davis value is going to be for the rest of his foreseeable NBA career. And it's not high at all right now because he's hurt and he's always hurt. When it comes to Kyrie Irving, I mean, he had a great season last year. He had a phenomenal season last year. You expect him to come in, you're excited for him to come back with Cooper Flag, but they weren't expecting to be so trash. They weren't expecting to have such a bad record this season. Now they're sitting here thinking, wow, should we also trade a Kyrie? And honestly, I'm not against it. I'm not against flipping Kyrie to, bring in some younger pieces and some draft capital for the future because Why not go all in on Cooper Flag? You have expiring contracts. You have a guy like Klay Thompson who's making a decent amount of money, who is not having a great season, and maybe you could package him in a trade with something else just to bring in some capital, bring in some 3 and D guys around Cooper Flag where sustainability, keeping him good, keeping him healthy, developing him, but also, rebuilding your franchise.
Yeah, not, I mean, hey, like obviously this isn't NBA 2K. It's not easy to do all of this, but I
Right,
think if you
right.
can get some of those bigger contracts off the books like Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis and maintain a guy like Flag, maybe you get some 3 and D in return. I think that's enticing enough where even if, you get some of those contracts off the books, you can go into the summer and try to get someone to come
Right.
into Dallas where, it's not a position where you're totally screwed and you're going to go to a losing team. You do, if you can get some 3 and D in return for, Davis and Kyrie, um, to pair with Flag, I think there's a fair amount of NBA veterans that wouldn't be opposed to joining forces with a guy like Cooper Flag.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be kind of like a trickle down effect. Dallas is a big market. That's a massive market in the NBA, and you land a guy like in the past, like Luka Doncic, you drew in Kyrie Irving. You drew in a guy like Porzingis who wanted to come and play in Dallas. DeAndre Jordan, towards the end of his prime, wanted to go play in Dallas. I mean, you have guys that want to play in Dallas. Kevin Durant was rumored to go play in Dallas after Kyrie got traded there. I mean, Jimmy Butler was even rumored. I mean, yes, they're rumors, but this is not like it's not like a kept secret. Dallas is a big market. It's a good franchise. They did very well with European players, especially. I mean, look at Dirk Nowitzki. He won them the championship. Luka Doncic came in. He's from Europe, and he brought them back to the finals. They haven't seen since Dirk. And now you got Cooper Flag, who's not European, but he is this next generational guy like a Dirk, like a Luka, where it's like he can change your franchise. So I think their best, case scenario here is get rid of the old heads. The unction gotta go. Get rid of Kyrie, get rid of AD, and the prices are gonna be low, but you know what? You can still get some draft capital. I mean, you can still get a first round pick for Kyrie Irving. I don't know about Anthony Davis, but you probably can get a first round pick for Anthony Davis because he's an all world defender when he's playing. So I think moving in the right direction. Look at Coop and the future of the Dallas Mavericks. That's what they should be doing is looking ahead and not the now. Um, but also when we're talking about trades, it's like Jonathan Kuminga today demanded a trade. Demanded a trade. Last season he requested a trade. Now he's demanding a trade. He's like, I want out. And you know what? This was bound to happen. I mean, Draymond Green goes on his podcast and he talks about how much of a good character Jonathan Kuminga is, and he's doing his job on the bench, helping out the young guys, picking out the little details that he's seeing that the guys that are playing might not see, and he's like, hey, trying to help out, keep your head up. And now he's not getting PT for the Warriors. He was to start the season. It's a weird team. The team's mediocre, and Jimmy Butler said it yesterday. The team
Yeah.
is mediocre. And Kaminga not getting PT in a mediocre team with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler. He's a good player. He has, I mean, I don't know about, I mean, you can give your opinion, James. I think he has all-star potential. He just needs the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean he's not getting the opportunity that he needs in order to blossom into the player that uh I mean he wants to be, right? And I think he's starting to notice that. And as much as he has been patient with the Warriors, I mean, this is his what, one, two, three, four, fifth season, fifth year. And he played the most minutes per game in his third season. And he's kind of getting that, tick down. He's down to, 24.8 minutes per game so far this season. And he hasn't
Yep.
started every game either.
Oh,
Coming off the bench. I think he's someone who's capable of playing good, solid starting minutes, being a tremendous two-way player as such an athletic freak that he is. Um, being a big contributor on another contending team. But hey, like you said, Butler said they're kind of at a state where they're mediocre right now, and he's not getting playing time. That's kind of two bad things going for the team where it's understandable that he wants to get out.
yeah, it's a dying dynasty over in Golden State. I mean, they've literally said it's a dying dynasty. Steve Kerr has said this himself. I mean, I think from what I'm been reading and all this kind of stuff, I think we're gonna see a Jonathan Kuminga, Michael Porter Jr. trade. I think Michael Porter Jr. is gonna end up in Golden State. I think Jonathan Kuminga is going to be a Brooklyn Net where he has the opportunity. They don't have a lot of forwards there. A lot of guard play over in Brooklyn where he's going to have, the green light to go out and, show some development, learn a little bit more what it's like, the NBA side to be that guy on a team. I think we could start seeing the works of that trade as of t later tonight. Maybe by the end of the week, we could see Michael Porter Jr. on the Golden State Warriors. They're gonna have to give up a little bit more than Kuminga because, well, MPJ is averaging 27 a game right now, having the season of his life. Granted, he's got the ultimate green light in Brooklyn, and I think any team he goes to, I think you'd be dumb to not give him the ultimate green light because look at he had it in Denver and they won a championship. So I think Michael Porter Jr. is a winning player. I think Golden State is looking for winning players. And I think a Kamingo for Porter Jr. trade is not insane to say. I think it's pretty reasonable. Both sides would be happy.
It's not out of the realm. And, the Brooklyn Nets would pick up another guy who is, I mean, while he's experienced and kind of shows that veteran
He's
presence, like you
22.
mentioned, he's well, 23 now, right? So
23. Yeah, yeah.
insanely young for a guy who has veteran experience and a veteran presence on the bench, even as you mentioned, being able to coach up some of the younger guys who get in. So I think that's a win for the Nets if they can get a guy like him. I mean, leave some comments. Where do you want to see Kaminga go? Where do you think
Yeah.
he'd flourish the most? Uh, I think the Nets would definitely be a place where he'd get the ropes and be able to do a lot more. But I'm not sure about overall team success. Maybe in the future, but it wouldn't be bad for his situation.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like, it's MPJ went to Brooklyn. He's now showing what he can do, and his value's going up, and teams are even more interested in him than they were before. So that could be the same type of scenario for Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, the trade rumors are kind of crazy right now. I'm just trying to cover over like what we've been hearing. John Morant and Triple J. If my camera would focus, bro, can you work? John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. I'll leave Jaren out for a second. John Morant. Well, headline him. John Morant.
Mhm.
He wants out of Memphis. He doesn't even want to be there. He was in an argument with his teammate at practice yesterday. Memphis is just not. I mean, John Morant he had a monster game not too a few days ago. But Memphis just isn't piecing it together. John Morant does not want to play in Memphis anymore. He's rumored that he's interested in the Miami Heat. I don't know what a John Morant trade looks like. Again, like we said, Trae Young just went for like a bag
No
of
idea.
chips. So I don't know what John Morant is gonna go for. And then it's like, okay, well if you're gonna trade John Morant, maybe just kind of go into a full rebuild here where you have a former defensive player of the year with high value and Jaren Jackson Jr. See what you can get for him too if you're gonna ship out John Morant, just reset. Because I
Yeah,
think,
I mean, he would have tremendous trade value. You would have to imagine at
oh
his
yeah.
age,
Oh
at his
yeah.
ability.
I mean, I would. I know we just said MPJ to Warriors, but I think Triple J would be really cool on Golden State. Bring that defensive morale to that team. But they probably have to move Draymond Green, so that's a little different. But Jaren Jackson Jr., I think he's a perfect plug and play type of player. He's a all world defender. He can score the ball. He can shoot the three. He's great in pick and roll scenarios. He's a great rebounder, good shot blocker. I think Jaren Jackson
Certainly
Jr. is.
a lob threat too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Lakers would be perfect for him as well, as they have a guy in DeAndre Ayton who doesn't really seem to care. I mean, that team's just atrocious. I can't watch the Lakers. They're merely unwatchable for
It's
me.
bad.
Just the amount of care that isn't in that locker room is kind of
Yeah,
crazy. Um, but yeah, I think this trade deadline could really heat up. It could be really exciting to kind of we might get a reset of some teams. We might see some familiar faces in new places. I love to see John Morant kind of rejuvenate his career somewhere else after a down season right now, and I want to see Kuminga get his opportunity somewhere else, and Michael Porter Jr. go play winning basketball again because you know I'm sick of watching MPJ shoot over three people. While it's cool and it makes for a great highlight, I want to see him go out and help a team win again. And I think that's
yeah,
the type of player that he is. So I think the NBA trade deadline could shape up to be pretty exciting nonetheless. Um, yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, hey, we're seeing it in the NFL with coaches right now. Like like no other coaches are all
Yeah.
going all over the place. Maybe we could see something at the trade deadline when it comes to like you say, familiar faces in new places. A big shakeup mid-season, I think, is something that the NBA they always benefit from whenever trades happen, bringing new viewership as well.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Milwaukee could also go out and try to get Giannis some help, and I know that's being pushed. I know there's got to
Yeah.
be something else Milwaukee can do to help out Giannis. I mean, they've helped him out. They got him a championship. He needs more. You cannot waste a prime like Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's one of the greatest players to ever do it. I don't want to see that wasted. I would like to see him. Although it pains me to say this, I would like to see him win another championship. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
So I had this discussion the other day at work. I work with some old heads, okay? And this, I feel like, is not talked about enough, and people just kind of push past it. But I'm done with old school basketball, and I'm done with old heads because you know what? You guys, no offense, but my dad is one of them. He thinks he knows everything, all right? And every old head, James, that you talk to about basketball, do they presume to know everything and that they're
Well,
correct?
they love to think they're right, and I mean they certainly have an attachment to their era. That's something that I need to, as I grow up, like think about for myself because I know it annoys the crap out of me when I talk to people, old fans of the NBA. I can't just think of this era that I'm in now and be attached to it, or the era that I grew up in, like 2012, 2014 era. I need to be able to zoom out and actually think critically about things and not just say, it was better when I was young, because it certainly isn't always the case, as we are about to talk about now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to evolve with the times here. Just like you evolve in the times of technology and throughout the world, if you're a basketball fan, you gotta evolve with the NBA. All right. So the argument, I was at work the other day, and we were talking about how, sorry, we were talking about how the NBA is a little different. And yes, it is different. I will give you that. There are aspects of the game. The game is played differently. There are different rules. There are different. It is a different game. And
Yeah.
but the argument here is that super teams ruin the NBA. All right. Sure.
Okay.
So I said, so when did the super teams start? And they go off and they tell me, when LeBron joined the Heat or when Kevin Durant joined the Golden State Warriors, blah blah blah. If you can't beat them, join them. You know? Sure. Yeah, you saw that, we saw that, but guess what? Just because there was no social media back then doesn't mean there weren't super teams in the NBA. And I think
Hmm.
there have been super teams in the NBA for its entire existence. There was just no social media and it wasn't being pushed like the narrative is these days. James, you want to start us off because, you know, we have a list of teams in the past before social media, before anything on TV, the super team era, as they like to call it, was even thought of. This is not shocking, but this should be enlightening and eye-opening to fans because, the super team era has been around the entire time. You're just not advertised.
Yeah, I mean, let's just start it off. Let's go from literally a 7, 8 year stretch from 1982 to 1989. Kareem, Magic, Worthy. That is literally the Showtime Lakers. What about that doesn't scream super team? What about that doesn't say, oh my goodness, these are three of the best players, some of the best players in the NBA, all on one team? Super team.
Yeah,
I mean, that's about as clear cut as it gets.
three first ballot Hall of Famers. Those guys are MVP, Finals MVPs, champions. That's just the first example. All right. Why don't we go back even further? Okay. Let's go to 19 no, well yeah, let's go to 1982, 1983. Your Philadelphia 76ers. They lost the championship this year, but don't worry, they won the year before or the year after. Moses Malone, Dr. J, Daryl Dawkins, Maurice Cheeks, Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones was a sixth man of the year that year. Dr. J, Moses Malone averaged over 20 points per game and our first ballot Hall of Famers and champions. Daryl Dawkins was a walking bucket. Okay, Reese Cheeks, great NBA player. That is a super team to me. Now let's go even farther back to 1965 and 1966 when the Boston Celtics went on that incredible run with Bill Russell, right? Super
Just
teams
goofy.
didn't exist before what, 2014, right? Yeah, no, you're wrong. Bill Russell, Sam Jones, John Havlicek. Those are three Hall of Famers on the same team. That is a super team.
I mean, just that's where common sense has clearly been thrown out the window. Look at the amount of winning that happened for those Boston Celtics.
11
And
championships.
and you don't even think to declare like super team. I mean, Bill Russell wasn't sitting there averaging like 35 a game. He was, a hair over 20, like between 20 and 25 points per game. He wasn't scoring the entire time for the Boston Celtics. Someone else was. It's a super team. Look at how much they won. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep going because this argument is just it blows my mind when I'm talking to NBA fans that are older than me and they're like, you don't know basketball like that. Like you don't know the game that I watched back in the day. Oh yeah, the game that you watched back in the day had the Celtics with Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Bill Walton, and Dennis Johnson winning championship after championship. That is four Hall of Fame guys on one team in one run. I mean, if you look at the San Antonio Spurs, and 88, 89, they had Tim Duncan and David Robinson, two of the greatest big men to ever touch a basketball. And then fast forward, the dynasty of the San Antonio Spurs with, they had Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. Later on, got uh, Kawhi Leonard ended up drafting later on. I mean, these super teams have been around. They've been around for a long time. Uh,
Did
And
we
yeah,
forget anybody? There's some
did we?
earlier Lakers teams as well that I don't even know if we mentioned. I mean, like Wilt, Jerry West, Gail Goodrich. I mean,
I
that
mean,
70s Lakers. I mean, that they had at least two or three guys averaging over 20 points per game.
Kareem and Oscar Robertson played together so nobody jumped ship and caused a scene and demanded trades. Yeah, that's not true. Shaquille O'Neal forced his way out of Orlando to team up with Kobe Bryant. And then he did it again in 2005, and he went to the Miami Heat and won a championship with Dwayne Wade. Guys, this super team jumping ship, demanding trade has always been around. It's always been a thing. I don't know what Kobe Bryant demanded out of the Lakers and he got traded and it got vetoed. Chris Paul did the same thing. This has been around for a long time. It didn't just start in 2014 when LeBron went to the Heat. That's not where this started. Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson were on the same basketball team. People,
Hey
there's
man,
no argument.
I think a lot of older NBA fans love to blame LeBron for a lot of what's wrong as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. LeBron coming out and saying stuff like, "No, I'm not playing back-to-backs. Just no." Or demanding, being the GM. I don't think it's great for the NBA, but you can't just sit here and pretend like he hasn't earned every right to do what he does. I mean, he's
Yeah.
been arguably the greatest, if not the second or third greatest player of all time. I mean, there's only a couple people I feel like a less percentage of the population that would put him outside of the top two all time. So I mean, hey, I'm just saying LeBron didn't ruin super teams by going to the Heat. If anything, it's the Celtics even prior to that. Um, but then, as we mentioned, it doesn't just stop there. You can go to the 60s and figure out that super teams have been around this entire time.
I mean, we're just gonna like John Stockton and Karl Malone play together. I know Karl Malone isn't like he's a bad person and he's not loved by anybody, but dang, he was a good basketball player. And also, like, I'm not gonna brush over this, okay? Literally, the people that everybody calls the GOAT, Michael Jordan, dead ass, won three championships in a row, retired, and won three more. Now, if that doesn't scream super team to me, I don't know what does. He had Scottie Pippen, he had Horace Grant, he had Dennis Rodman, he had him. That's just guys off the top of my head. He had Artis Gilmore, who was an all-star at one point in his career. It's Steve Kerr, one of the best shooters of his era. That is a super team. They won 6 championships. That doesn't happen just by uh luck or by chance. They don't beat every team for 6 years and a divide 3 years in a row, divide 3 years in a row. You don't just do that. You do that because you're good and your team's better than everybody else. And your
The
team is better
NBA,
because you have better players.
yeah, I mean the NBA has been around for a long time, and it didn't take until like 60 years into the existence of the NBA for GMs to think, wait a minute, we should try to get as many good players as possible. No, they've been trying to do that since the NBA started, okay? And they've
What?
been succeeding at doing that.
What do you think happened? LeBron just woke up one day in 2014 and was like, I'm starting the super team era. Like, no, like it's been around this entire time. Where do you think he got the idea from, bro? Like the Celtics did it with KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. The Thunder drafted a super team and traded it away. Like
Yeah.
it's the Lakers drafted what could have been a super team and traded them away for Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I mean, come on. This has been around this entire time and nobody talks about it. It's ridiculous. It's a thing. It's been around the entire time. Nobody just covered it back then, and it's being covered and pushed these days. And the so-claimed super team era is over now. Yeah, you're in for one if you think that's true. Have you not seen the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder? Like, are we oblivious to those teams? Because those are super teams, if you ask me. I
I
mean,
mean, I can't wait to see the parallels between what the Spurs have now and what the Thunder had when they had Harden, Russell, and Durant. I mean, we're gonna look at a lot of these Spurs players in 5, 10 years and be like, wow, that wasn't too far off from what the Thunder had in their big three when they first came up.
I actually, it's funny because I kind of think about the show as I'm laying down, going to bed. I just kind of think of ideas, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, the parallels between that Spurs and the Thunder team back in the day it's kind of crazy. Think about it. They had a star point guard in Russell Westbrook. The Spurs have Stephon Castle, a budding star point guard, and they already have a star point guard in De'Aaron Fox. They had a superstar player and Kevin Durant. The Spurs have Victor Wembanyama, who can stretch the floor. He can shoot over anybody. He can dunk on you. Kevin Durant, the same way. And then
Kevin
they
Durant, it's an
drafted.
evolved Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he's an evolved Kevin Durant. And then the Thunder went out and drafted James Harden. Okay, the Spurs just drafted Dylan Harper, who, by the way, plays just like him. There, it's actually crazy how much this Spurs team is like that Thunder team. And you got to remember, like, oh, that Thunder team had surrounding pieces around it, like Steven Adams and Serge Ibaka. Yeah, the Spurs have Jeremy Sohan and Luke Cornett. This team is really similar. There are a lot of
I
aspects of
mean,
this team. I mean, they had an older wing, and this Spurs team has Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes, dude, don't get me started. He's like one of the best role players in the entire NBA with how he shoots the rock,
I
man.
know,
So
dude.
like you
Mr.
can't mess with
100.
it.
But yeah, it's fun. I'm excited to see it. The rivalry between the Thunder and the Spurs is even better to me. Um, man, man. I mean, the Spurs came out and kind of blew the Thunder out of the NBA every time they played each other, and then they finally lost. The
Finally.
Spurs finally lost to the Thunder 2 days ago, and then Wemby came out and shaved his head. So I think Wemby's a little mad they lost to the Thunder because he knows they're. I mean, I think. And he knows because, Victor Wembanyama has delusional, confidence, which you have to. He knows they're better than the Thunder team. If it were a 7 game series, I don't know who I would take right now, but give me a year or two, I'm gonna say the Spurs every single time. I mean,
Yeah.
this team is it's every time it's on TV, it's a must watch because the rivalry between Chet and Wemby has been building for years and years. SGA is the former MVP. Wemby is the budding star, supposed to be the greatest of all time coming up. I mean, man, it is exciting, it is fun, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of this Thunder Spurs rivalry, and you can tell in the games too. They get chippy. They're good games to watch. It's really great basketball.
Yeah, and then I mean, hey, like that's not even talking about, other teams in the NBA that certainly can compete with both of them. I mean, the Nuggets have lost half their starting lineup and are still on a 3-game win streak as the second seed in the West, above the Spurs. So
Hmm.
it just goes to show how, we st super teams are still around, but it's by no means ruining the NBA. Teams are still competing. There's no sense that, super teams run the league. I mean, they're definitely better because they have the better players, but it's not pushing everyone out of the way.
No. All right, so now um to the last segment that is brand new to the show. As everybody knows, I'm a massive Phoenix Suns fan, so we're adding a new segment to the show called The Suns Up, where we're just going to talk Phoenix Suns basketball for a little bit. So this will be like a little niche section of the episode in each podcast. Um, James, thank you for doing it with me.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
I need to rant about the Suns because I love watching them and I watch every game that I can, and it's fun for me. So Phoenix has been on a roll. I mean, dang, talk about hot teams in the NBA. The Phoenix Suns are 7-3 in their last 10. They tough loss against the Miami Heat the other day. Came down to Phoenix was down by 20 going into the second half. They came back in the third quarter, which all season Miami's been struggling the third quarter all year. They've been losing leads like almost every game in the third quarter. Phoenix comes back. They end up taking a lead. They lose it in the last like minute or so. Uh, Dylan Brooks got a technical foul. He was given two technical fouls in that game. Devin Booker received a technical foul. One of Dylan Brooks' technical fouls was actually rescinded by the NBA, which I knew was going to happen. And I'm watching the game, I'm like, that is not a technical foul. It was the stupidest call of all time. He, nothing even happened. Nothing even happened, and he got a tech out of
I feel like
nowhere.
with guys like Brooks, I mean, and you see it happen with Draymond too. Their reputation supersedes it sometimes. That it's
It's
just
so
like, oh, what,
stupid.
it,
It's so
it
stupid.
it's a quick T
Yeah.
for them sometimes.
So the refs that have been mid as hell all season, yeah, forget your call because the NBA rescinded it. Give Dylan Brooks his money back. So, the tech later on got rescinded. But during the game, Norman Powell hit a three in Dylan Brooks' face to take the lead. We got the ball. We were down by three. Grayson Allen gets the ball inbounds, steps out of bounds. Game is basically over from there. Dylan Brooks airballs a three, offensive foul. Suns lose. And we had a great picture of Dylan Brooks at the end of the game that looked like he's out for vengeance, and it's a really good picture. I don't know if you've seen it.
I'm
Um,
not.
let me see if I can pull this up because it's really funny. It's actually like hilarious. The way that the camera person like framed it is actually perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's you guys are kind of ramping up towards a stretch of tested teams. Oh my gosh.
This was a flagrant. They
Oh
called
my.
that. Listen, chill out. Okay. The refs need to relax a little bit. It's getting a little out of hand. But I'm not here to talk about the refs. I'm here to talk about the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker has been playing fairly well. His shooting has been better. His splits are down this season compared to other years, but that's okay. He's been picking it back up. He is out with an ankle injury tonight against the Detroit Pistons, which sucks because they are, one of the best teams in the NBA this season. So the Suns are going to have to rely a lot on Dylan Brooks with his shot making ability that he's showing this season. Colin Gillespie is going to have to step up with his 3-point attempts and makes, which I love. I love Colin
I
Gillespie.
know
He's
you
like
do.
my favorite player to watch in the Suns besides Devin Booker. It's gonna be a win by committee tonight. Hopefully they can get the dub in Detroit. They jumped up to the 5 seed in the West. They're back down to the 7. The West is so hit or miss right now. It's gonna change every single day. So I imagine Phoenix ends the season around 4 to 6. I don't see them falling in the play-in. I think they're a good enough team to avoid it this season.
We'll have to remember that. I mean, hey, you're confident in your Suns every time, but it's a road trip coming up. You got Detroit, obviously, without Book. You're gonna have to go into New York. Brooklyn is a team that you guys should take care of, but then you got Philly and Atlanta. Those are two teams that are gonna, give you a
Yeah.
good run for your money. You're gonna have to play well to beat them.
Yep. Well, the best part about these upcoming games is Jalen Green is set to return any day now. And man, oh man, am I excited. The Phoenix Suns have been doing so well without their second best player, Jalen Green, the number two pick like 5 years ago. We forget how good Jalen Green is. I
Yeah.
mean, the one game that he
Reinforcements on the
played.
way.
Yeah, reinforcements on the way. The one game that he played in the season, 26 points in 20 minutes, pick up the dub against the Los Angeles Clippers. It was beautiful to watch. And I'm excited to see that backcourt of Jalen Green and Devin Booker. Jalen Green has been said to be untouchable. Dylan Brooks has been said to be untouchable. But Phoenix are going to be buyers at the deadline. You know, they have some expiring contracts. They have Nick Richards. Uh, so hopefully we can pick up a wing, a nice defending wing. Uh, I don't really know who I'd want Phoenix to pick up, to be honest. They're rumored to be interested in Jonathan Kuminga. That's no longer the case. I don't know, man. I don't know who I want my Suns to pick up at the deadline. If we're gonna move a guy like Nick Richards, I would like a defensive wing to add to maybe like a Dorian Finney-Smith. That would be nice.
Yeah, well, you don't have that much flexibility with draft picks, so it's
No.
gonna be very limited to see who you can go out and get. But with who you have, maybe you can work some things around.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've been playing really good basketball. I mean, Jordan Ott. Man, Jordan Ott. Talk about coach of the year. He should be the front runner for coach of the year right now, in all honesty. I mean, yes, the Detroit Pistons are playing great. They're the one seed, probably better than expectations. Shout out to, is it Mike Brown over there? Who's over there coaching in Detroit? Is it Mike Brown or uh
That doesn't
is
sound
it
totally.
Bickerstaff?
I think it is. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
it's
big.
JB Bickerstaff. It's Bickerstaff, my bad. So JB Bickerstaff could go out and he can win coach of the year, but I think it's Jordan Ott. I think Jordan Ott is a front runner right now. He's a head coach of the Phoenix Suns. Comes in, he switches his offense around completely. I mean, we were just number five on NBA.com and power rankings the other day. We're top five in defense, which was the biggest problem last season with this Phoenix Suns team. They had no defensive identity. Now we bring in Dylan Brooks and we bring in Mark Williams on that draft night trade. It looks like it's going out perfectly as we wanted it to be. You know, we bring that defensive identity that we haven't had for years. And now we finally have it back. We're top five in defense. We're top five in steals in the NBA. Our offense is looking good too. Jordan Ah is basketball savant in my eyes. He orchestrated last year's Cleveland offense. You see him leave. Cleveland is now struggling like a lot offensively, and he comes into Phoenix as a new head coach. First time ever head coach, and our offense is seamless and it's working perfectly. Exceeding way beyond expectations because nobody saw the Suns team, winning more than 25 games this season, and here we are, almost at the deadline, where we're competing for a three seed in the Western Conference, and that's because of Jordan Ott and the emergence of Dylan Brooks as the two-way star in the NBA and the rest of the guys. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the season with the Suns. Um, Man, it's my favorite thing to do is watch the Suns play basketball. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I know.
All right, blind ranking with James, former NBA champions. You ready, bro?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. The 2019 Toronto Raptors.
Oh, dude, they're so underrated. Like, I immediately kind of want to put them high. They're so underrated. We didn't get to see more of them. I mean, they took care of every team in the East, and I mean, we know obviously the Warriors got hurt, but I think they could have played really well against even a healthy Warriors team. I'm deciding between like two and three right now, but I don't know if I want to put them as high as two right away. Screw it. We'll just put them at two. I'm gonna put them at two. I think they're so severely underrated with Kawhi.
Okay. All
Unless you're
right.
gonna screw me here.
Let's go with the 2008 Boston Celtics with Paul Pierce, KG, and Ray Allen.
I knew you were gonna do this to me because I can't obviously put them higher than those Raptors. I'm gonna slide them in at three. I mean, come on, that's
Okay.
a loaded team at
All
the
right.
start of the super team era, quote unquote, in 2008. But.
Give me the 2014 San Antonio Spurs. Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Danny Green, Patty Patty Mills was on that team. I think. I don't know actually.
Yeah, no, yeah, No, this is see, I wish I put the Raptors at 3 and then I just did the Celtics to 4. And then I could put this team at 2 because they beat that Heat squad. I mean, oh my gosh. And they gave them problems the year before. Really should have won the year before as well. And that was without Kawhi even. I guess I literally are you gonna give me a terrible team to round this out, or are you gonna give me a great
You
squad? Like
got you got two more after this.
I don't know if I can put them at 1 yet. And I know you're gonna give me a like another like crazy good team.
I don't know.
And it pains me to say that the best I can do for this team is put them at 4 right now.
It's number 4, 2014 Spurs.
That's the best I can do. I gotta save one. I've got 1 and 5 right now. I'm screwed. I did this all wrong.
Oh yeah, you are, buddy. Um, what should I give you? Okay, let's do 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers.
Honestly, when it comes to a team composition, I'm gonna put them at 5 because it's like I don't know. They still got Bron, Kyrie, and K Love. I know it's a great team. It's a great team, but I just know you're saving a really good squad for me at 1. I
Am
just
I?
I don't know. But honestly, by the looks of it, it looks like you coming up with this on the fly. So you trying to screw me. So hey, that's all I'm saying.
I actually had this all planned. You're tripping. Give me
All
your
right.
past champion Thunder.
Was
The
that this
2000
past season?
the past season Oklahoma City Thunder, your 2024-25 NBA champions.
I would not have had that team at 1 given this list of 5, but that's my only spot left. I wish I started at 3 at least with those Raptors because I stand by the fact that they're underrated, but honestly, probably would have ended up even closer to the end of the list at this point.
So your ranking was number 1 was the 2025 OKC Thunder, the past champions. Number 2 was the 2019 Toronto Raptors. Number 3 was the 2008 Celtics. Number 4 was the 2014 San Antonio Spurs. And number 5, the 3-1 comeback 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers. That is your NBA champions blind rankings
Say what I
with
had to
James
do.
Derrick, everybody.
What about, hey, I started it all wrong, but we still, it's a list. It's a
It's
bad list,
okay.
but it's a
It's
list
okay. That's
nonetheless.
funny. That's gonna be a good little clip there. Yeah, I had a lot of fun filming this episode. I think we're gonna open some packs after this.
Possibly, possibly,
All
possibly.
right, all right, all right. So, if you have enjoyed the episode, make sure you like and subscribe down below. Afterthought Sports on YouTube, as well as TikTok and Instagram. Go listen to WSBU 88.3 FM The Buzz. This was Above the Rim. I'm Austin Townley. This is James Derrick. And as always, guys, peace.